in Section 9 of Part 8 of the Vigyan Bhairav text. Today we will discuss in detail topics such as the meditation on emptiness, wherein the elements of the entire universe, as described in the contemplation of shunya, void, and akasha, space, dissolve into their respective causal sources. Welcome, seekers, to this explainer on the Vigyan Bhairav. Hear these teachings not just as ancient philosophy, O Devi, but as a living, breathing transmission. What we're really diving into today is the ultimate Laya Bhavana, the contemplation of cosmic dissolution. It's where we literally reverse the flow of creation to return to our absolute, pristine source. Let's get right into it. You know, Mother Shakti, in your infinite compassion, you've asked how we transcend the myriad forms of this universe. And I reveal to you right now, the universe? It isn't a trap. It's actually a map. By understanding exactly how the dense physical world emanates from the subtle mind, we can consciously walk backwards along that very path. And this esoteric dialogue, it isn't just a story from the past. It is happening right now, within the heart of everyone experiencing this explainer. So, before we begin this great dissolution, we absolutely have to understand the canvas of our meditation. We're going to talk about shunya, the void, and akasha, space. Think of akasha as this expansive, subtle ether. It's the container of all form, right? The vastness where the stars and planets hang. But shunya is absolute emptiness. It's the state prior to space itself. In our meditation, we'll first dissolve all the heavy elements into the vastness of akasha, and then we'll dissolve akasha itself straight into the pure, formless shunya. Basically, space gives you freedom, but the void gives you absolute liberation. All right, let's anchor this meditation in the precise technology of Karika 54, which makes up the 26th dharana. Listen closely to the vibration of this original Sanskrit verse. Sva sharire jagat vapi, sukshma sukshmataram smaran, layam neyatsha yuktam vedante, param shunye vilyate. The simple English meaning of this divine instruction is incredibly profound. It tells us that whether you're meditating on your own physical body or the entire external universe, you have to visualize it becoming increasingly subtle. You're actively guiding this reality to complete dissolution, step by step. And at the absolute end of this sensory perception, you merge straight into the supreme void. This isn't just abstract philosophy, it's a literal, practical mechanism for total freedom. To really grasp the power of this verse, let's look at its pure building blocks. Svasharire instructs us to start right where we are, in our own body, while Jagadvapi expands that focus out to the entire universe. The secret key here is Sukshma Sukshmataram, which demands we visualize reality becoming subtler and subtler. Through smaran, or continuous meditation, we layam nayet, we actively guide this dissolution all the way to the very limit of perception, Vedanta. And finally, we reach Param Shunya, the supreme void, where Vilyate promises a complete merger. Nothing remains but pure existence. Now, this secret instruction carries some deeply multi-layered significance. Let's break it down. From a spiritual lens, it represents the ultimate evolution of the soul. You're shedding those heavy layers of material attachment to merge right back into cosmic consciousness. Religious traditions, on the other hand, view it as the act of offering the entire creation back to me, Shiva, the ultimate source. Then, when we look through the Tantric viewpoint, there are two really distinct paths. In the left-hand path, Vamachara, this meditation acts as a radical internalization of destruction, literally breaking the mind's rigid taboos about the permanence of the physical body. But conversely, in the right-hand path, Dakshinashara, it acts as a highly structured mental purification, cleansing the mind of worldly impurities through sequential visualization. Grounding this high esoteric theory into reality, let's look at what this means philosophically and practically for you. Philosophically, in the Trika, or Kashmiri Shaivism system, this completely demonstrates non-dualism. It shows that the solid earth you're standing on right now isn't separate from supreme consciousness. It's just a condensed, frozen form of it. By melting it back down, you realize everything is just one. And practically, for you, the seeker, this meditation is a profound psychological tool. By mentally dissolving your body and the world around you, you instantly sever the roots of anxiety, fear, and stress. You cultivate this deep, peaceful detachment and get a visceral realization that all physical things are just impermanent. But to unlock the cosmos within, we don't just rely on visualization alone. We use a sonic key. The specific, highly powerful mantra associated with the Shunya and Akasha Bhavana is the primordial sound of Om. specifically focused on its dissolution into absolute silence, which is known as the amatra, or the unstruck sound. So, what makes this mantra the ultimate catalyst for universal dissolution? Just look at its deep resonance. The sound A represents the waking state and the gross earth element. The sound U represents the dreaming state and the subtle expanse of akasha, or space. And the sound M represents deep sleep and the shunya, the void. But here's the thing, the true power lies in the silence that follows. As the mental vibration of the mantra fades into that silence, it acts like a magnetic pole, literally dragging the elements of the universe, your body, your thoughts, your physical surroundings, straight into the supreme consciousness, Turiya. Let's actually practice this inner alchemy. Step 1. Begin by assuming a stable posture. Withdraw your senses and pull your vital energy, your prana, inward. Now, step 2. Visualize the dissolution of earth. Feel your dense physical form and the solid ground beneath you melting away into a vast, formless ocean of water. Next, for step 3, as you breathe, feel a tremendous inner heat rising. Watch those cosmic waters boil and evaporate, entirely consumed by the purifying fire of consciousness. We continue to climb this ladder of subtlety. In step 4, observe the fiery light and heat as they begin to lose their form, dispersing and thinning out into pure, rushing movement, the air element. All that remains is the feeling of boundless motion. As you deepen the practice into step 5, even this motion begins to calm. The rushing wind expands infinitely outward until it stops completely, dissolving into akasha, the vast, motionless, empty ether. And finally, step 6, the ultimate surrender occurs. The empty space of akasha folds in on itself, completely merging into Parasamvit, the supreme consciousness, Paradevi. Here, there are literally no elements left. Only you, as the eternal witness, remain. Now, as you guide your mind through this elemental dissolution, the text reveals something fascinating. You won't just feel empty. You'll actually traverse through 8 highly specific, visionary scenes of shunyata, or emptiness. Think of these as the milestones on your journey back to the source, arising spontaneously in your awareness as the grip of physical reality loosens. Let me describe these sacred visions to you. The first scene is the Aramba Shunya, the initial void. Here, the boundaries of your physical environment just begin to blur. The literal meaning of this experience is a numbness of your external senses. The room around you appears as a distant, fading mirage. Then, as you deepen the meditation, you enter the second scene, Gata Shunya, or the space within the pot. The translation of this experience is a profound hollowness within. You no longer feel your body as dense flesh, blood, and bone. Instead, it's like you experience yourself as an empty clay pot, holding infinite, undisturbed space inside. Proceeding further, we encounter the third scene, Mahashunya, the great void. Think of that clay pot completely breaking. The space that was inside the pot is now completely indistinguishable from the space outside. The literal meaning here is a complete shattering of the boundary between your inner mind and the outer universe. Your consciousness simply loses its edges. Next is the fourth scene, Prakasha Shunya, the luminous void. Now you might think emptiness is dark, but here, the emptiness is actually illuminated. The literal experience is a vast space completely devoid of any objects, thoughts, or forms, yet it's entirely filled with a subtle, radiant, self-sustaining inner light. As that light settles, you step into the fifth scene, Atita Shunya, the transcendent void. The translation here is an existence completely beyond time and location. The literal meaning you'll feel is the absolute evaporation of the concepts of past, future, here, and there. You just simply exist. Following this is the sixth scene, Spanda Shunya, the vibrational void. This reveals that emptiness is not just dead space, it is pure, potent potential. While all external and internal forms are entirely gone, you'll sense a primordial, subtle throb, a divine pulse known as Spanda. It's the heartbeat of consciousness itself, right before it decides to create a universe. Finally, we approach the zenith of the meditation. The seventh scene is Ananta Shunya, the infinite void. This is a limitless expansion without a center. The literal meaning is that the very I that was meditating, the individual observer, completely dissolves. There's no one looking at the void anymore. There is only infinite observation. And at long last, we reach the eighth scene, Purna Shunya, the absolute, complete emptiness. This is the ultimate merging into Paradevi, the supreme consciousness. Its literal meaning is the absolute dissolution of the cosmos. It is the state of undisturbed unity, the perfect embrace of Shiva and Shakti, where nothing else has ever existed and nothing else ever will. You have finally returned home. When the universe dissolves, you don't disappear. You finally discover what you truly are. If the solid world around you is merely a frozen echo of your own limitless mind, what reality will you choose to create when you open your eyes? On behalf of the Vedmata AI family, we humbly request that if you found our presentation enlightening, please share this video widely so that authentic knowledge from Indian Vedic scriptures can reach everyone. Let us all come together to participate in this Gyan Yajna, offering of knowledge. Har Har Mahadev.